athletes, they say trail the play. You don't know what can happen on a fast break layup. You saw that right there. Luis Salgado tried to go up for the layup. It goes too far and too strong. And McCoy times it perfectly, grabs the ball with 2 hands and jams it home.
Boy, he got up there super quick. I didn't even realize that he could elevate that fast. 6-3, 3-point San Diego City Knight lead. A little bit of sloppy ball handling by the Owls, and now there's a loose ball on the ground, and who's going to get it? No one. It's a jump ball.
Battling for it was Jesse Elrod, and he was there with Robert Taylor.
And now there's 11 seconds on the shot clock. 15:23 left in this first half. 3-point Knight lead. Now we've seen a lot of teams struggle offensively to start this tournament in the beginning of the game. And that's proving to be the same in this one. Nice crossover dribble, gets it out for a wing 3, and that is good. Number 23 from Citrus, Jesse Elrod, nails the 3. Riley gets his defender to fall, gets it over to the corner, and he gets it back in the corner. And Riley looks like he's a firecracker out there. 8 seconds on the shot clock, puts up a floater. 2 people were there, couldn't get it to fall. Reaches in, almost gets the foul call. And now the Owls are on the attack. Nice pass on the inside. Layup is put up and no good. The hook shot can't fall. Owl rebound, put back up, and no, Jeremy Smith cannot get that to fall.
And they had both Austin Clark and Jesse Elrod, 6'6" and 6'9", attacking the offensive glass. Elrod got the initial offensive board, and then it was Clark who got the secondary one. Just neither of them able to put back the second chance opportunity.
And Austin Clark averages 8 rebounds a game.
11 points to go along with it.
This guy is a monster in the paint, and 2 subs on the floor. There's going to be Quentin Bailey coming in and Wonder Smith coming in on the other side for San Diego City. Quentin Bailey coming in for the Owls.
But Citrus has one of the arguably more well-rounded players in all of the state of California in Kyle Gray. Gray is 6'4" sophomore as that free throw is made. He averages 15 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game.
Jeremy Smith on that made free throw scores now 8-6, 2-point Owl lead, and now Jeremy is hounding the ball handler for the Knights, Wonder Smith. Errant pass inside, and Smith ends up with it. Smith on the break now. Nice bounce pass, and Clark ends up getting fouled.
And Clark goes right into the contact. He realizes that the defenders aren't going to have an opportunity to get back in time. So what he does is he goes right into the 2-person wall, makes sure that they are in the air before he initiates the contact, and then afterwards is able to try and get to the line.
And now Clark, we already mentioned it, 11 points, 8 rebounds are his averages. Right now he nails that first free throw, looking to get this second one to push this to a 4-point lead for his squad. Second one is good, and just like that, it's a 4-point game, and the Owls say, we're going to pressure you guys. We know you're the #1 team in SoCal. We know you're the #1 team in the state, but you guys don't scare us. And there's Clark giving a little check to the ball handler. Nope. Baseline pass over to the corner for a corner 3, and that is short. Another corner 3, and that one is nothing but net. All good by Ziska. Nice shot there. Or not Ziska, I'm sorry, Drake. Ball's on the inside, low post. And the refs call a foul. I actually thought that San Diego got all ball on that.
They did get all ball, but if you look at Trevor Drake on that last play, what he does is he gets all ball with his right hand to block the pass, but on the other side takes his left hand and then has a little bit of a wrist tug at the end, trying to make sure that Quentin doesn't get an opportunity. Quentin Bailey doesn't get an opportunity to get that pass off cleanly and misses the first.
Yeah, Bailey can't capitalize on the first of 2. It's now a 1-point game, 10-9. The Owls are in the lead, 13:37 left in the first half.
And Quentin Bailey last year was one of the top freshmen in the Western State East Conference. as he averaged close to 14 points per game and also had 6 rebounds to his credit per game.
And Esposito and McCoy will come in now for the Knights. Also in there, Adrian Bird. Free throws coming off. And now the Knights in transition. Wonder Smith with it. Runs straight into a double team, and he sees a whole bunch of trouble. Somehow finds a teammate and bails him out. Now McCoy with the nice pump fake puts up the jumper, no good. That was a long 2, not a 3. Knights come up with the rebound, nice ball movement. Wonder powers his way inside, doesn't see the double coming and drives straight into trouble. And he steps out of bounds, no awareness of the feet. Steps right on the line. Now that's going to be a turnover for the Knights.
Wonder Smith had a wide open 3 that he passed up. He got it at the wing, and he had the perfect opportunity to just set and let that one fly, but instead goes with the pump fake and tries to go down for the contact, but runs into, like you mentioned, Avery, that double wall.
Now we've actually seen the double team a lot in the last 6 minutes or so coming from San Diego or coming from Citrus. Nice drive out to the 3. Now back up top. Crawford with it. Crawford, nice crossover dribble behind the back. Drives into 2 people. Passes out 3-pointer. Almost an air ball. That was just a little bit too strong. Rebound by the Owls. Put up. It's no good.
Once again, that was Gray who was able to get to that rebound. Averages 8.3 rebounds per game. Has 2 in this first half.
And Kyle Gray and Elrod are definitely working on the glass. Also in there is Andrew Amon. He's doing a whole bunch of work. And it looks like we're going to have a wet floor situation. So the Citrus Owls 3-1 this season, only lost to Fullerton College in the San Diego City tournament. How long? About a week ago. They defeated San Diego Mesa, and they defeated Mount San Jacinto, the other team that's in this tournament. And now Wonder Smith.
Citrus going with a full-out man defense.
Wonder Smith trying to navigate his way around defenders, gets it over to the corner, and that hook shot is going to be absolutely no good. It was a good look by Esposito, but he just can't get it to fall. Now Amon.
Muscled his way to the middle of the lane. Just couldn't finish with the tight roll.
Gets it over to Trayvon. Trayvon into Jesse Elrod. Back to Trayvon. Trayvon, skip pass over to the corner, opposite side. Amon loses control of it, puts up the jumper, no good. And now the Knights off to the races. Wonder Smith throws up a lob. Oh my goodness gracious. Jumped over the defense. Robert McCoy, 2 hands, throws it down the throat of the defense. Wow.
When you look at McCoy, he is one of those athletic type wings. He can hit the 3-point shot. He can hit a mid-range jumper, but his greatest asset is the fact that he has the ability to jump over guys. And you saw that on that play as he was going up against Amon in the low post. He just sees that one floating up to him off the lob by Wonder Smith, goes up with it, 2 hands, and jams it home.
Robert McCoy looks like he's wearing Nikes, but those are actually Hermes shoes. You can see the wings as he flew over the defense, and he nails the free throw for the 3-point play. Now the Owls looking to get some kind of momentum, trying to break the full court press, can't do it. Steal by the Knights, but they end up giving it right back. Kyle Gray comes up with it, and now he's going to try to slow it down and get in control.
That's just a case of a player just getting a little too cute on a pass.
And Gray forces his way to the rack and somehow draws the foul. Now he's going to the line, and he says, yeah, you were all over my shoulder.
Yeah, and you look at Gray on the season, he gets to the line about 5.5 times per game, averaging 72.7% from the free throw line.
Now he's going to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. It's 12-10. San Diego City lead. And now it's a 1-point lead for San Diego City, 11:32 left in the first half. And there was a substitution on the floor. Luis Salgado is now out there. Second free throw is good by Gray. Now it's a 12-12 tie ball game. Citrus got another sub coming in. Clark is now back on the floor, coming in for Amon. Rob McCoy set to take it out for the Knights. Full court press by the Owls. And the press is now backing off a little bit. Lee gets it over to Smith. Smith back to Lee. Lee with it, waiting for something to happen. Dribbles over to the right side. Throws a nice bounce pass on the inside. And Salgado gets it out. Back to McCoy in the corner. McCoy with a nice Euro, but comes up short on the layup. That would have been sweet if he got that to fall.
Got in between Jeremy Smith and Austin Clark.
And Clark showing off his ball handling, getting up the floor. Getting hounded by McCoy. McCoy still guarding the ball handler out. Free throw line extended jumper is good by Elrod. Nice shot by Elrod. 14-12. Citrus Owls lead. 10:40 left in the first half. Pass out to the corner. Takes a step in for a jumper, and that's no good by Esposito. Owls with it. Owls in transition. That layup will be no good by Drake. It's saved by Clark. Out to Smith. Smith with the jumper, and that's good. 16-12. 10:16 left in the first half.
Second chance points. And when you look at Citrus, they average 15 offensive rebounds per game and 42 rebounds overall.
Errant pass tipped out of bounds. No, there's going to be a foul on the play.
That goes against Kyle Gray. And Gray, once again, the 6'4" sophomore out of Laverne, went to Bonita High School. Well-rounded, has a chance to be one of the top players in the state, possibly all-state at the end of the year.
McCoy, nice baseline pass, and there's going to be a blocking foul called on Citrus. That's Jeremy Smith. Jeremy says, yo, I'm moving my feet. It's not like I'm blocking them, but you can't hip check like that. Another foul, or another substitution, I'm sorry, and Riley is going to come in for San Diego City. 9:57 left in the first half, 16-12. Owls in the lead. Three-pointer will be no good by Salgado. Owls end up coming up with it. And now, foul on the play. Smith is fouled as he races all the way up the court. And he's fouled by Riley. That's Joseph Riley.
Jeremy Smith continues to get to the free throw line. Gets there about 8 times per game, averaging 83% from the charity stripe.
Now, if they didn't have as many fouls as they did, I would have said that would have been a good foul because you stopped the transition, but you end up sending them to the line. But I'm going to end up eating my words because he just missed a free throw. So, you know, the best case scenario, they come away with 0 points and you get the rebound. Worst case, they get 1. Smith, second free throw, no good. And just like that, their wish is granted. San Diego City, and they come up with the rebound. Wonder gets it to Riley. A little miscommunication. Riley now bringing it up slowly. Sees the double team. Runs around everyone. Gets it to Smith. Smith over to Salgado. Salgado back to Smith. Smith almost loses it. Now driving into 2 people. Puts up a crazy layup. And puts a little, is that English or Spanish that he put on that ball? Because that thing spun in there.
Go under.
And now Smith running up the left sideline, the far sideline, driving by himself, throws up a lob. Nope. And there's going to be a foul on the play. Elrod is fouled, putting that shot up on the baseline.
Yeah, and Elrod realized that pass just a little bit too much to his back shoulder. So as he goes up and grabs the pass, he ends up bringing it down instead of trying to take a shot while he's off balance. He brings the ball down, tries to go up for an attempt, and in doing so, gets himself to the line.
And Elrod, first free throw, no good. If he had the kind of athleticism that McCoy had, I'm pretty sure he could have banged that one out. And there's going to be a sub on the floor for Citrus. Amon is coming in for Kyle Gray. And another sub coming in for San Diego City. Dion Davis is coming into the game for Luis Salgado. Elrod, second free throw. Cashed it out. 17-14, 9 minutes left, and it is a Citrus Owl lead right now. Now Riley gets it over to the left side, inside to the high post. And now McCoy, nice jab, but it's a travel. He didn't put the ball down before he moved his pivot foot, and that's exactly why they called it. If he would have let go of the ball before he moved, that would have been completely fine and a pretty move.
Yeah, he took 4 steps before he brought it down to the floor.
Oh, nice touch pass from Elrod. And now Amon with it, trying to work the defense. Can't do it. Wonder Smith is in there reaching. He says, you're not getting by me. Now Riley with it, all up in Smith. Smith, nice crossover, gets away from McCoy, puts up the floater, no good. Now the Knights with it. Lee on the break, dribbles around everyone, uses a pivot foot, puts up a jump or a hook in the key, no good. Rebound by the Owls, and now Smith with it on the far sideline. Smith working the double team, trying to avoid the trap. In the corner, nice pump fake, takes a step in and nails the jumper. That's Andrew Amon with a nice jumper there.
And the pump fake is actually what gets him in rhythm and in line to take that shot. So he gives the pump fake steps, 2 steps in with the dribble, and then stops, pops, and gets that one through.
McCoy with it at the free throw line, gets slapped on the wrist. And gets slapped on the wrist, and Austin Clark, after the foul is called, Austin Clark slapped the ball out of his hands and says, I don't really care that they called the foul. You're not about to hold the ball any longer than I want you to hold the ball. Now 19-14, it is a 5-point Owl lead right now, 7:54 left in the first half. I don't think there have been any timeouts called so far in this game. And now the Knights are set to inbound. Riley with it now at the top of the key. Going up against Trayvon. Handoff dribble gets tipped a little bit. Riley ends up coming back up with it. Riley on the far side, drives in. Nice little scoop pass, and McCoy says, I'm going to dunk on everybody. He doesn't care who's in the paint.
That's dunk number 3 for McCoy. He just finds himself underneath, magnetizing himself to that basketball whenever he's in the restricted area.
19-16, 3-point Owl lead, and it's a turnover for the Owls. Was that a travel that they called, Ryan?
It was indeed, because you look at Amon on that far side next to the OEC logo. He ends up dragging his right foot, which was his pivot foot, just about 2 feet before he's able to get that ball on the floor. He was trying to keep the ball while passing it at the same time, but Jeremy Smith was too far away.
And now Riley gets it into Davis. Davis drives, no good, and the rebound is to the Citrus Owls. And now they're off to the races. Crawford with it with a quick shot, no good. Rebound by Watts Hale. Owls moving the ball quickly, trying to strike fast. Out to the 3. Pump fake, shot is up by Amon, and that's good. He took another pump fake, took a step in, and got another jumper. The mid-range just must be his flavor of the week.
And the thing is that it's working for him because San Diego City College continues to bite on the initial fake.
That layup is going to be no good by the Knights, and now Trayvon on the near side dribbles it up against Riley. Moves it over. Clark with it, with the 3 with the D in his face. Air ball, was that tipped? Yes, it was. It was a block, not an air ball. Now, ooh, the Knights losing in transition. Davis couldn't keep control of it. And now Trayvon driving up against Riley. Riley takes the charge like a genius. That was a great play. He saw what was going to happen. He saw that Trayvon wanted to drive, and he stood there and he said, you know what, I'm just going to take this hit, take one for the team.
And in fact, that's something that we talked to Coach Mitch Charlins about last year. He said the anticipation is what he thought was key for his team, for San Diego City College. On that play, you saw Riley anticipate where it was going to go, steps in front, and stays with the positioning.
And now McCoy bringing it up. Mr. Fantastic Arms. That's what he looked like when he dunked it last time. Now over to Smith. Smith working the defense, tries to force his way to the rack, ends up getting fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. He's been doing a lot of forcing, Ryan, trying to get his way to the rack.
And this time it'll be Miles Crawford, the 6'2" sophomore, who gets the foul on this one. Wonder Smith hasn't been on his game in this first half. Normally he averages around 15 to 16 points per game, but Wonder Smith in this one only has 2.
Yeah, on offense, Wonder Smith and Robert McCoy are the ones that really hold it down for this Knights team, as that first free throw is no good. 21-16, Owls lead over the Knights. 6:02 left in the first half. Wonder Smith gets 3.5 assists per game, 1.8 steals. So he's definitely active on the defensive end as well. That second free throw is good, and it's 21-17 now. Still a Citrus lead. 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Trayvon bringing it up against Wonder. Wonder all up in his grill. Gets hit by a screen. Nice pass over to the corner. Pass inside is deflected by San Diego City, and Quentin Bailey gets fouled trying to put it up on the left side of the basket. He's going to end up going to the line to shoot 2 free throws now.
And last year, we mentioned it earlier, 14 points per game for Quentin Bailey. But this year, only averaging 0.7 as a couple of new recruits have come in, namely UC Austin Clark and also Jesse Elrod, who are both starting to get into things offensively, 11 points per game and also 7 points per game. But they've kind of taken over what Quentin Bailey used to be to the team last year.
First free throw is good, 21-17, 5:45 left in the first half. Can he get the second one? No, he can't. It's tipped. McCoy almost tipped it in for the Owls, but the Knights end up coming up with it, and now it's Riley versus Trayvon. And Trayvon reaching in a little bit, trying to test the waters. Riley trying to work the defense, gets it to Wonder. Wonder now with the pump fake. Ooh, gets the defense to scurry back just a little bit. Three-pointer is just a little short, and there's a foul on the ground. Who's that foul on? San Diego City bench is saying you got to go to the rim. You need to get to the line and get some buckets.
Second straight foul being charged to Miles Crawford for Citrus. But you look at Citrus so far in this first half, they have really forced San Diego City to be off their game, because normally San Diego City, they're a quick possession type team. They get up the floor quickly and they try to get a lot more layups and inside dunks, try to get to the lane fast. But Citrus has forced them to go more to an offensive set, slow things down, because they're quick to get back on defense. They're trying to force San Diego City to slow things down.
And there's going to be a sub on the floor. Miles Crawford's coming out. Jeremy Smith coming in, and that was 1-1. That first free throw is good, so he gets another opportunity at the line. 21-18, Owls lead. 5:23 left in the first half. The Knights are down, #1 team in the state. Second free throw is good, 21-19, 2-point game, 5:23 left. Another substitution coming in on the floor. Robert Taylor is ending up going out. Now Citrus, that's Smith in transition, sees the double team, dribbles away from it to the opposite side, drives into another double team and almost gets a turnover. Trayvon ends up with it, and now he's going one-on-one with McCoy. He says, I want the screen. No. Drives through 2 people, a little bit of a travel, and the refs don't see it. Doesn't even matter. He ended up missing the free throw, and now Riley throws it up, gets it to Smith, throws an errant lob to McCoy. No good. Citrus Owls on the break, gets fouled, trying to put up the quick transition layup. That is Kyle Gray in transition, trying to make things happen. He's going to end up going right back to the free throw line.
And that's the third time that we've seen Wonder Smith have a questionable pass, because the first one where he had the behind the back pass nearly turned it over. Then he has the one over at the OEC logo in which he does turn it over. On this one, he goes with the straight up lob pass, almost makes the 3 on his own from well beyond. But he was trying to get that lob into McCoy, but sometimes you can't just rely on that athleticism too much. It's good to see when you're trying to clean things up from underneath the basket, but when you're just barely moving across half court. Interesting call there from Wonder Smith.
Yeah, you're right. That second free throw is no good. 21-19, 4:52 left in the first half. It's an Owl lead. You're right. Getting position along with athleticism helps you get those dunks. Just because you're an athletic guy does not mean you're going to bang it out every time, as there's a Knights turnover, and Smith in transition. Euro step gets rejected by Smith. He says, no, no, no. Wayne Knight, Jurassic Park, not in my house.
That was McCoy who got back in time, but Riley forces Smith off to his right and into the Euro step. Smith was not liking the shot selection that he had, but he had to go up quickly, and McCoy sends it away.
Oh, and there's a little panic on the baseline there. Smith dribbles around everyone, puts up a floater over McCoy, and he gets it to fall. Nice float game there. 23-19, 4:20 left in the first half.
How do you get it over someone who can jump so high? You send the ball even taller, and that's exactly what he did, 10 feet into the air.
And McCoy answers back. Was that a three? Absolutely. Yes, it was. It's a 1-point game, 23-22, and Smith is working it against Riley. Drives into a double team, and Trayvon's in trouble. Trayvon's on the sideline. And San Diego City wants the travel called on Trayvon. Trayvon did drag that pivot foot a slight bit. I saw it from right here.
Trayvon looked a little bit more like a football wide receiver in college, trying to tap the toes a little. He received the ball, tapped his toes, but they didn't call the travel.
Trayvon wild pass on the inside or on the inbound to Gray, and Gray gets it to Smith. Smith working against Riley. Uses the screen and now runs into a double team, and he's going to dribble around it. Now it turns into another defender, gets it outside to the wing for three, and that is good by Gray. Nice shot and nice way to capitalize on that. 26-22, 3:34 left in the first half. Now Davis brings it up, who came in with Adrian Bird in the last substitution, Adrian Bird-Jelinek. Inside pass to Bird. Puts it up, no good, and that rebound is secured. Owls now in transition, turns Riley. Smith doesn't use the screen, but he gets it over to Elrod. Elrod hands it off to Smith, and Smith says, let's slow it down for just a second so I can compose myself. Smith now on the opposite wing, nice spin move. Goes against Riley and gets fouled. He is loving that matchup tonight. No matter how hard Riley is guarding him, he says, you know what, I'm going to go right at you. And like this is the playground.
And it's about a 3-inch height differential. Jeremy Smith, not exactly the tallest guy on the court at 6'170" out of Great Oaks in Temecula. But he's going up against Joseph Riley, who is 5'9", 160 out of Los Al in Carson. And so for him, he sees that as a mismatch. And with those 18 points per game, he's finally able to drain one of his free throws. And he's now 3 of 5 from the line. But with those 18 points per game, he's able to exploit a defense. Doesn't matter who's on him. But in this case, he's liking the fact that he's on Riley.
And now it's a 5-point game for Citrus College as they put up the second free throw. And that is good by Jeremy. Jeremy is 83.3% on the season from the free throw line, so pretty much he's making it if he gets to the line.
He's now 67% on the day, 4 of 6.
Now the Knights with it. Working their way in on the wing, gets the defense to fall, and it's a blocking foul even though he's on the ground. He got worked right there. Who was that on that play? That was Elrod on the blocking foul, lost his footing, and ended up putting himself in a really bad position, and the Knights were able to draw that foul.
That was Ethan Esposito, who is working himself down low to the block. And Esposito is the third leading scorer on this team with 10.3 points per game. Gets to the line about 2 to 3 times per matchup and shoots 67%.
And now Esposito going to the line. He is 67% on the season, as we have a little wet floor situation. This San Diego City team is a team that likes to cause turnovers. They like to create them. They have 55 team steals on the season. Luis Salgado is the leading steal getter on this team, as that first free throw is no good. Salgado is the leading steal getter on this team with 3.5. And now Smith in transition, nice behind the back dribble, and he's going to be fouled. Darius Lee is looking around like, are you serious? He just throws the ball behind his back and gets every call. But he did end up making the Knights reach on that play, and you can't just throw your hands in there and expect the refs not to call anything, especially when he's driving through 3 people.
Yeah, and for Citrus, they're now in the double bonus at 28-22 with 2:36 left to go here in the first half.
And Smith back on the free throw line where he loves to be. And he'll nail that first one.
And Avery, you were talking about the steals just moments ago for San Diego City. They average 13.8 steals per game, and they only give up 5.5 steals per game to the other side. And you look at Citrus, they only force about 11.5. But San Diego City in this one has only forced 4 steals total in this first half, well off their average.
Second free throw is good, and Drake and Smith are in for the Knights now. Davis bringing it up against Trayvon. Trayvon trying to beat him back. Davis throws a little bit of a no-look. Now gets over to Wonder. Wonder working it on the far wing over there. Has no help. Oh, and Davis loses it out of bounds, and he's frustrated with himself. Turns around and says, you know what, I'm just going to get it back on the next play. It's 30-22, 2:19 left in the first half. The Owls are in the lead right now and in full control. Let's see if they can get some jumpers to fall. They've been scoring a lot from the free throw line. Let's see if they can get their field goals to fall right now. As Smith going one-on-one with McCoy. He's got some really long arms. Don't let him get in there because he'll get a steal. Trayvon over to Smith. Smith pulls up for three. Is that good? Absolutely. That's bottoms. And he does a nice samurai three-point move as he bounces back on defense. Smith now in transition trying to set up the offense. Gets Davis to go to the other wing, and now he's working at the top of the key. Gets it over to McCoy. McCoy, nice spin move, puts it up. Left-handed on the left side on the spin move, and that's pretty. He filleted that in there.
McCoy, 14.8 points per game so far. He already has 10.
33-24, 1:35 left in the first half. Smith behind the back loses his footing, and he ends up getting it back. How much more lucky can you get? He's got good ball handling skills, and now he's hounded by the double team. Over to the top of the key, back to Smith. Smith for three. Can he get another one? No, it's short. Rebound by Citrus, and it's tipped out to Trayvon, who ends up coming up with it back to Smith. Smith looking for a skip. No. Now he turns his back to the D and says, you know what, I'm just going to work over here on the far sideline. Moves the ball over to Clark. Clark drives in, puts it up off the glass, and no, a little bit too much honey mustard on that sandwich. And now Robert drives in, puts up a floater, and that's going to go over the rim. A little bit too much mustard on that one.
And you're starting to see the game plan defensively for San Diego City. They want to force Jeremy Smith into the wings, and when they force him into the wings, they're double teaming him and trapping him just like that.
Smith just lost it on the far sideline, throws the nice throw it up to McCoy. He tries to go up, but it's not a foul. It's slapped out of his hands. I thought they called a foul on that. It looked like it, but it's slapped out of his hands, and it's still going to be San Diego City ball.
Kyle Gray got all the way back. He was at the free throw line and well trailing the play, but he made sure that he hustled over there and broke it up. Otherwise, McCoy was going in for another dunk.
37 seconds left in the first half. That layup is no good by San Diego City. And now Citrus off to the – no, they slow it down. Andrew Amon came in on that last sub. 27 seconds left, and Trayvon is working it up the court against Davis. And Davis, active hands, it got beat off the dribble. Trayvon can't get the layup to fall. That was a good take. He had the defense out of position. Wonder in transition. Wonder behind the back dribble, through the legs, working it on the far side on the wing. Says, no, move over. 7 seconds left on the clock. Wonder gets it over to Davis. Davis, quick 3 seconds, and that is bottoms. 1 second. 33-27. Nice way to end the first half by the San Diego City Knights. 33-27. Citrus Owls in the lead over the #1 ranked San Diego City Knights right now. And you're watching the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic right here on Sportsnet USA.net. And Ryan, why don't you go ahead and give our sponsors a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all these games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Don't forget, it's that time of year. Everyone is looking for great deals. It's the holiday season right around the corner. If you find yourself among that group who is looking for good deals this holiday season, check out Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim gives military and student discounts as well. Just visit the corner of the 91 and Euclid. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and most of all education. Once again, that is Miller Toyota of Anaheim. As we are here at the half, 33-27 is our score. It's a 6-point difference between the Citrus Owls and the San Diego City College Knights. And Avery, you look at these two squads. If you're Citrus, it's hard to be able to see a better half that you could have played against the #1 team in California.
Well, Citrus, they are 3-1. They only lost to Fullerton so far in this season. Fullerton was a top team last year. Citrus, the #1 team to beat this, or San Diego City, the #1 team to beat this year. So when you have a half like you did in the first half, it's amazing for your confidence going into the second half. Let's see if they can ride this momentum. The Citrus head coach, Brett Lauer, we talked to him on the coaches show just yesterday. He's only in his second season. Okay, so he's only in his second season. They were 24-7 last season, 8-2. They lost to Antelope Valley. They're a big-time conference rival. In the Western State East Conference. They lost to them in the third round of the postseason last year. So they're hoping to get back there.
And you talk about that third round last year. That's exactly where Citrus ended their season in 2015. So it's a question now whether or not they can get over that Sweet 16 hump. And last season, it's all the more bitter because it is to your conference rival. As we welcome the people here joining us on SportsNetUSA.net. We're live at the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic here on SportsNetUSA.net. I'm Ryan Osborn, joined alongside by Avery Jordan. But Avery, we were mentioning moments ago, Antelope Valley beat Citrus in the third round. They couldn't figure out Antelope Valley throughout the entire season, and especially in that final game where they were beat by almost 10.
Well, Antelope Valley, if you look at the standings, actually, Antelope Valley was third in the conference, and it was Citrus, Barstow, and Antelope Valley. Antelope Valley actually had a better record overall than Barstow, but Barstow 8-2 in conference, as well as Citrus 8-2 in conference. But to lose to your conference rival in the playoffs, that's like salt in the open wound right there. You know, you got your little scrape on the playground, it's all exposed, and someone's like, hey, here's a big bunch of Mortons, throw it in there. I hope that burns. So I'm pretty sure they're hoping to get that back this year.
And this is something that, from our perspective, as we cover the Orange Empire Conference a lot for the Coaches Show here on SportsNetUSA.net, we cover the Orange Empire Conference, we see Fullerton's perspective, and when they lost to Cypress a couple of years ago, just before the playoffs, it knocked Fullerton from a possible 2 to 3 seed down to a 5 to 7 seed. And it was especially bitter in that case as well, because the Orange Empire Conference, you mentioned the overall records, everybody had a great overall record, 1 through 5. However, the only time those teams would lose is when they faced in-conference rivals. And so you see the same thing in the Western State East Division with Citrus and Barstow and teams like Antelope Valley out there. They only beat up on one another, but they have great overall records when going up against teams out of their conference.
I actually think that Barstow, although they secured second place in their conference, overall, they were like 16-12, which was nothing compared to Citrus. Citrus 24-7, but the 8-2 conference record keeps you in there. Now looking at some stats from the first half of this game, let's see, leading scorer for San Diego City, Rob McCoy. The guy's thrown down like 3 dunks.
12 points so far in that first half.
He's extremely active, 5 rebounds. Also on the other side of Citrus, leading scorer Jeremy Smith. He's 6 for 8 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, or 6 for 8 from the free throw line, 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 from the 3-point line. He's by far the most active offensive Owl that's out there. If San Diego can find a way to get the ball out of his hands, they might see an extremely fruitful second half. I mean, they're only down by a couple points right now. It's 33-27. If they keep the ball out of Smith's hands, that means Citrus is working a lot harder to get buckets.
Well, one thing that I think you noticed at the end of that first half that was working really well is that they were forcing Jeremy Smith into the wings and then trapping him there. If you notice, they would trap him in the wings with a double team.
On the far side.
On the far side. And then they'd bring out McCoy and force him to go in the middle into the passing lane. So Jeremy Smith couldn't bring it down low because that was guarded. He couldn't bring it back up top because that was a dangerous pass. So what do? Well, you have to eat it in that situation. You just have to keep the ball with you and then try and find an opening however possible, and that led to 2 straight turnovers for the Citrus Owls. So if you're San Diego City, what you want to do is you want to make sure that Jeremy Smith doesn't get into another rhythm like you saw when he took that transition 3. That was wide open, he drops it, and he's happy about it. If you allow him to continue to get into a rhythm, you'll be smarting a little bit at the end of this game, and you won't be happy with the overall result. But if you end up allowing Smith to just stay in that wing and don't let him get a pass, you'll see San Diego's fortunes start to turn. But if you're on the other side, Avery, I'll let you take the Citrus side. If you're Citrus, you have a 6-point lead over the #1 team in California. How do you make sure that you're not just content with where you sit?
You got to keep McCoy off the glass, and you got to listen to your coach. We talked to the coach yesterday. We talked to head coach Brett Lauer of the Citrus Owls, and he was telling us, you know, I just got a lot of guys that love to play basketball. So once we see things, you know, how things are going on the court, he's got a lot of guys that love to play and got a lot of intelligent guys. So figuring out what's going on the floor is going to be definitely really important. I'm going to say a key to the second half is keeping McCoy off the glass. You talked about how McCoy's been coming up after they have the double team coming on the sidelines to get Smith. So when they get McCoy out of the paint, that's good. That's really good for Citrus. McCoy, he's already got 5 rebounds tonight. He averages 10 rebounds, or almost 10 rebounds. He got 9 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. He averaged a double-double almost in that last game that he played against Bakersfield just yesterday. They ended up beating Bakersfield 83-73.
And what I think you also have to do with McCoy, just like you're mentioning, to get him off his game, if you force him to be on the arc and he just is limited to shots from beyond the 3-point line, he's only averaging 20% from the 3-point line. That's and a big deal. On.
That's a big deal.
If they can force him to the outside, not give him those open looks, but you say, hey, we'd rather allow you to take those wide open threes and take our chances with a 1 in 5, then, oh, yeah, you can have the ball in the low post and get it 6 out of 10, get it 4 out of 5.
And actually, on the Citrus side, Clark shoots a ton of threes.
3 out of 5.
Actually, on the other side, Clark shoots a ton of threes. He averages 52% on the season, but today, how many threes has he taken? Only 1. That's probably a really big deal. He's their highest percentage 3-point shooter on the Citrus side. And with him shooting, you know, 9 for 17 on the season, with him shooting 9 for 17 on the season, you know, he can be definitely deadly.
As we're going to be joined by one of the assistant coaches here at Fullerton College. Coach, right now you're looking at your squad. You're about to face off in this second game of the Fullerton College Classic.
Yep.
How do you prepare for Mount San Jacinto?
They're a really good team. They can hurt you in a variety of ways. I think what we have to concentrate on is not turning the ball over and rebounding the ball. If we could do those 2 things, it'll give us a good chance. If not, they'll take advantage of us.
We were talking to some of the other coaches around this Fullerton College Classic, and we asked them, hey, what makes this tournament so special? And what makes it so special for you guys?
What makes this tournament special?
Yeah.
I think it's just overall a really good tournament. I mean, you got the #1 ranked team here, and then I think you got 3 top 10 teams here, and then you got some other solid teams in Bakersfield and Canyons, and just teams from all over. So I think it's just a real good tournament that could help you out if you get some wins.
Now, Coach, you guys played next. What makes this team so special for those that haven't seen you guys play yet? What makes this year's iteration of the Hornets so special?
I mean, every year is special in its own way, and I think we have a good group of guys, a smart group of guys on the floor and off the floor, and I think if we gel together and get that chemistry, we'll be able to do some good things this year.
Now, looking ahead at the rest of your season, are there any other tournaments that you guys are really focused on, just nailing down, or are you guys looking past that and looking at individual opponents?
For us, it's always the next game, no matter what it is. We're not looking forward to any tournaments. I mean, we know the schedule, but we always look at who's next, because we don't want to skip over anybody, because we can get beat on any night. So we try to let the players know that.
We're currently speaking with Andrew Bach, one of the coaches here at Fullerton College. Andrew, let's take it back to your own experience. CIF Player of the Year during your high school days.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
That was some. Those were some good times. I miss those times. And I mean, until you're done with basketball, you kind of.
You're never done.
I mean, when you're done playing basketball, you kind of like, dang, I wish I could still play, or I wish I was still playing that competitively like that. But those were good times. I loved my high school team, and we had a good run that year.
How do you get this, coming off, winning CIF or going to CIF and being a terrific player that you were, how do you get the kind of energy that you have and focus and determination? How do you translate that into your team and get them to perform?
I was a guy that always kind of lead by example. And that was like being first of the gym and putting work off the floor and just kind of talking to them in terms of, hey, we want to win, right? Or we want to win, so we got to put the work in, and that kind of motivated us in itself, just winning.
While you were playing, you win the Big West Championship in 2013. What was it like to play in one of those big arenas like Honda Center?
Oh, Honda Center is a great arena. I actually played in that. My championship of my high school senior year. So that was the second time I played in the arena. It's big. I think the biggest adjustment, especially when I played in high school, was the backdrop. Because in normal gyms, you don't have anybody sitting behind you.
Right.
So when you're shooting, you kind of get used to it in that way.
When you talk about that, because you look at Fullerton College and the Hornets' Nest, you see behind the backboard, it's blue screens behind the backboard. When you're playing and they change that up on you, and it's seats, it's people, how does that change from your perspective?
You eventually just get used to it as a player, especially in college, because all the arenas are like that, especially in the D1 level. You're going to play in some big arenas, and you're going to play in some loud arenas, and you kind of just get lost in the game and don't even realize that you're in an arena. You're just playing basketball on just like normal. So I think you just kind of get used to it. First game, it kind of is weird, and after that, you kind of get adjusted.
Being so close to being removed from a D1 experience like you had, how do you make sure that you take a look at these Fullerton players and say, hey, this is what you need to do to prepare, because I've been there?
I mean, I just preaching them to work hard on and off the court, especially off the court, because there's no way you can play, or there's no way you're able to play without the grades. So that's what we kind of try to let them know. And then you got to put your work in. You got to put your work in other than practice as well. So we kind of let them know that as well.
Yeah, and you talk about that because too many people, Mark Pavlovich, who's also broadcaster, and Corey Nayland here for SportsNetUSA.net, as we come back onto the floor with Citrus and San Diego City, how important is it to stress that student part in student athlete?
Especially at this level. We let them know that every day because especially during season, it gets tough for them. We have practice, we're preparing for games, and they're tired, so sometimes they don't feel like going to class or doing the work, but we kind of stay on them and let them know there's no way you could.
You got to.
Yeah, there's no way you could bypass school. I mean, sometimes it's boring, or they think it's boring, but you got to do it.
As Amon goes to the free throw line after getting fouled on a jump shot. 19:54 left here in this second half. Brian Osborn alongside Avery Jordan. We're being joined by one of the coaches here for Fullerton College basketball, Andrew Bach. Andrew, you look at this season, right now you're starting off in a ton of tournaments, but Orange Empire Conference play is looming. How do you prepare your squad for that?
You prepare for these games. We're playing a good schedule, and we always do that. We like to do that early on because we know we have one of the best leagues in the state. So
absolutely,
we do that each game, and we prepare the same way, and we prepare for each team, and we kind of try to build and get better each game.
How do you find guys that are just absolutely just ready to grind? Because like you said, OEC, OEC don't play no games.
Yeah.
So how do you find guys that are ready to deal with, some of the realists in the state?
Yeah. We're always looking around for that. And I think the biggest thing is just character, and you kind of look at their work ethic, and then once you see they got a good work ethic, you get them to join your system, and then once you can get them to join your system, and they want to put in the work, we can help them get to that level. So
35-28 as the second of 2 free throws is missed by Wonder Smith. Getting to the block is Jeremy Smith, and he's able to finish it off. Andrew, last year you have Ian Fox and Dylan Reese, Kendall Lauderdale.
Yeah.
This year, big transition.
Yep.
How do you play with that?
That's kind of why this team is special, because, I mean, they're their own. We only got 4 returners, and kind of let them know that this obviously isn't last year's team, so we have to find our own identity and kind of build from there each and every day and get better every day.
Wonder Smith ends up seeing this one off the top of the glass and gets to the line for a chance at a 3-point play. 37-30 with 19:03 left to go in the second half.
Now, Coach, have you had any surprises? You guys haven't played very many games, but have you had any surprises up to this point on your roster?
Surprising? No, I mean, nothing so far. We kind of know how our guy's going to play through practice, and we know a lot of times when a guy has a good week of practice, he's able to have a good game following that. So we kind of preach to them, come in and practice every day, and work on your game, and it'll help in the game time.
This is Amon to Siska. He'll take a 3. That goes side rim and out. Jeremy Smith able to get to the rebound, trying to get an opportunity. 18:30 left to go, 37-30. Citrus on top of San Diego City College. You played San Diego City College twice already during this season. What are you looking for now?
I mean, they're a great team. They can beat you in a bunch of different ways. Obviously, with them, you can't turn the ball over and help them out. I mean, they're not going to beat themselves. And I mean, in terms of when we play them, we just know we're going to have to play some of our best basketball.
Does it make it harder for you to coach a team that doesn't have, an outstanding talent like Ian Fox, orchestrating the floor like the way he does? Because he was magical last year.
Yeah. We're trying to position Jason Richardson in that role, and I think as the year goes on, he's going to take more of that lead, and we'll be able to get that leadership out of him that Ian brought.
This is Gray, who misses a teardrop in the lane. 17.5 left to go. Still a 7-point lead for Citrus as Wonder Smith works his way to the free throw line. He'll kick it out for 3 to Robert Taylor. It's good. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us here on the broadcast. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
We were joined by the assistant coach of Fullerton College basketball, Andrew Bach, here on SportsNetUSA.net. I'm Ryan Osborn, joined by Avery Jordan. 39-35 after the 3-point make by Taylor. This is a 3 from Amon. There's the reply. 42-35, back to 7-point lead, 16:50.
And that was all in Darius Lee's mouth. He had his hand contesting him in his face, and he said, the defense doesn't faze me. I'm going to cash this out.
Wonder Smith goes in between his legs, being guarded there by Ziska. Darius Lee turns to his right, and Amon is going to get the little hip check foul. That'll be his second personal. 7-point lead for Citrus at 42-35. 16:38 left to go here in the second half. Amon will take off along with Ziska. In for them is Gray along with Austin Clark. And Quentin Bailey is back in.
And Salgado is coming in for the Knights.
Salgado goes off to the right wing. Going in between his legs is Robert Taylor, working one-on-one against Jeremy Smith. He'll kick it out to Salgado. One-on-one this time against Austin Clark. Out to McCoy for 3, fakes the 3. Now he goes in down low and scores. McCoy just bodying his way into the low post.
Nice attack. Only 4 seconds on the shot clock, and he definitely made a smart move and a strong move to get to the rack and put that one in for 2.
Jeremy Smith takes a look at McCoy, trying to draw him out. Now Bailey comes in for a down screen, make it an up screen, turns to his left, the spin move, but he can't get the hook home, but Austin Clark is there for the putback.
And what did we say at half? We said we need to get the ball out of Smith's hands because he causes too much offensive production for them.
Immediate transition 3 for Wonder Smith, and that's good. So it's now just a 4-point lead for Citrus at 44-40. And Jeremy Smith works his way up the floor. 15.5 left to go here in the second. Citrus 44, San Diego City College, the #1 team in California, down by 4. They have 40. Three-man weave for Citrus. And Jeremy Smith will take a look. Hard screen there by Bailey, side rim off. On the three-point shot by Jeremy Smith, goes out of bounds, last touch by San Diego City. And entering for San Diego, or make it for Citrus, will be Jesse Elrod, and out goes Bailey. Out goes McCoy for San Diego City, and for him is Espinoza. And Davis is back in as well. Now they go to Elrod. He's being joined by Watts Hale. Over to Jeremy Smith.
It looks like they have a faster lineup now in for Citrus.
This is Jeremy Smith, goes right up on the teardrop. That's the second time he's able to get that shot to drop. 46-40, and looking to check in is Miles Crawford the other way. A turnover for the Knights of San Diego City College.
And Jeremy Smith right now, as we saw him in transition, he's feeling really swaggerific right now. He's clapping and he's being vocal. The rest of the Owls bench, they're feeling his energy and they're ready to go right now.
Don't forget that all games are brought to you by all games on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. With a wide variety and selection of vehicles at the corner of the 91 and Euclid, Miller Toyota of Anaheim can suit any car need that you may have. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and most of all, education. 14:58 left to go, a 6-point lead, 46-40. Here in the second half, Ryan Osborn along with Avery Jordan.
Ryan, they need to get the ball, the Knights need to get the ball out of Jeremy Smith's hands. Every time he touches it, something good happens for the Owls. Literally every time. Either he's getting a shot or he's finding someone else to get a shot, and it's going to be a good look.
Austin Clark will bring it on the inbounds. It goes to Watts Hale. Watts Hale with Smith and Clark, joined by Crawford and Elrod. Elrod says, bring it over to me, I'll set the screen. They go for the long skip pass to Clark. Elrod just inside the three-point line, and he'll get the friendly roll.
The mid-range jumper is his game, and he said, look, the big man's guarding me, you better step out or I will wear you out.
This is Davis, now for Salgado, deep three, but that goes front rim and out.
Salgado shoots a lot of threes.
Mid-range jumper, no good by Robert Taylor. Rebound finally controlled, far wing by Davis. Wonder Smith thinks about bringing out the gun for the three-point shot, but he gets to the lane, and a left-handed layup works. 6-point lead for Citrus. 14-10 remaining in the second half. Jeremy Smith up to midcourt.
Davis
now
missed
Crawford.
a steal.
Crawford goes behind his back to Watts Hale. Davis trying to figure out whether to switch or not. Elrod runs over for a pick. Watts Hale, skip pass. It goes to Austin Clark, and that hits the iron. And a foul on the floor will go against Davis, undercutting Watts Hale on the rebound.
And we're talking about Davis. Davis at half court. If we look back at the last play, Davis had an easy steal, and he literally watched the ball go straight into the defender's hands and then decided to play defense. If you guys are going to run the full court press, run the press and steal the ball and get out. It's a 6-point ball game right now. You got to be aggressive and you got to attack.
There's a quick three by Austin Clark. So he misses the last one, makes this one. And it's now 51-42, largest lead of the game for Citrus at 9. 13:30 left to go, second half. Number 1 team in California down to Citrus. Salgado underneath, tries to get the attempt up, but it won't go in. He does draw the foul, going against Jesse Elrod. Contact to the elbow, and to the line goes Salgado.
You know, I always get nervous when players try to make that little hop, step, stop right there, or that jump stop going towards the baseline, because they try to make another move right after they do the hop step, and it always makes me nervous because I think it's about to be called a travel. So it's like a 50-50 call sometimes, especially if their pivot foot is not all the way on the ground and solid. That first free throw is no good.
Salgado gets to the line 2 times every game, and he's hitting 50% from the charity stripe. This goes off the front rim, and now McCoy just can't get the rebound. It was in his hands twice. Austin Clark has to work away from a double team. He nearly gets fouled, but doesn't. Away goes Riley. He'll kick it out to Davis. Davis finds Salgado for 3 in the corner. It's good. 51-45. Now just a 6-point lead for Citrus. Watts Hale up to Crawford. There with Elrod, and Crawford off the window. It stays out, but he does draw the foul on Wonder Smith. It's back to 6 points now, Avery. However, you're looking at Citrus, and they are content to attack. They're not sitting back on this lead.
Boy, if Elrod would have just cut on that last play, it would have been a nice little dime drop on that pass from Crawford, and it could have been an easy layup, and you wouldn't have had to miss the first free throw. You wouldn't have been in this situation. That would have been an easy 2 points, and you can run your press again.
And speak to that, because you had Elrod who sets the screen but doesn't roll to it.
That's a frustrating thing when you don't have your big man that rolls to the rack, because as a guard, you would love to give your big man some easy buckets, because that's easy points for you guys. That's less that you have to work, as that second free throw is good.
52-45, back to 7 for Citrus. Ooh. Left to right is San Diego City. This is Davis off to his left hand, gets it off the window, but that's too strong. Watts Hale looking to push up the floor. He finds Austin Clark. Clark against Salgado off the window. An offensive foul as Salgado looks like he got back just in time. He did indeed. Offensive foul called.
To me, it looked like he was leaning just a little bit. I saw him kind of lean over and slide just a little bit, but the defense gave him the benefit of the doubt. It looked like he leaned over to his right into the baseline from his perspective and tried to draw that charge, but the refs say, hey, he was there.
Don't forget, at 7 p.m. here on SportsNetUSA.net, Fullerton College will have their matchup. Salgado fakes up pass, goes for the three. That goes off the side of the rim and well off. Looking for the defense is Robert Taylor. Taylor, along with McCoy, working past the double screen is Jeremy Smith. Now Crawford into the block. It goes out to Elrod, three. That is off the mark, and it will be
a foul on Riley?
Robert McCoy.
Oh, no, it's on White 5. It's on
Crawford.
Yeah,
it goes
Crawford.
against Crawford because he's trying to go up for the rebound at the same time. He ends up knocking the ball, but the ball hits the face of McCoy, and that's when the foul is called. So it's 52-45, a 7-point lead for Citrus with 12:18 left.
Now you mentioned another game that's coming on Sportsnet USA tonight. SportsNetUSA.net is Fullerton, but tomorrow there's going to be Fullerton College football against Golden West.
Indeed, it will be a little bit of a battle of the booth, you could say, with Mark Pavlovich, Corey Nayland out there for Fullerton College versus Golden West here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rashawn Haylock there as well.
That's going to be at 1 o'clock.
Davis can't get the up and under to work, and Quentin Bailey is away with it. San Diego City really trying to work fast on this one. Jeremy Smith to Watts Hale. Hale stuck beyond the three-point line. He'll work his way to the corner. Now Crawford with the head fake goes with the leaning jump shot from the elbow. It's down.
He did a great job turning that corner around the defense and around that screen and pulled up right in the defense's face. Got him off balance and pulled up right on him and knocked that down.
Salgado not afraid to pull the trigger. He's 2 of 4 here in this second half from beyond the arc. 54-48 is our score. It's a 6-point lead for Citrus over San Diego City. You are listening and watching the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net. And in reply to what you said a lot earlier, Avery, this is only the second timeout that has been taken all game.
Yeah, I just realized that right now as soon as you're about to say it. There have been no breaks in this game. It's been all the gas, no breaks. And you know what? This has been a better game than we've seen from, Wednesday we saw a lot of teams offensively struggle. They just couldn't get shots to fall. They were moving at the same pace, but there was a lot of in and out shots.
Well, I mean, we watched the Mount San Jacinto game on Wednesday night, and that was a matchup in which it was really choppy, the pace of play, because both teams were turning the ball over. Ball was going out of bounds on the sidelines. Clock had to be reset, then set again, and then they had to change the shot clock. And both sides were taking timeouts. 7 total timeouts taken in the last 2.5 minutes alone.
And there's only been 1 here?
This is Jeremy Smith. Can he work away from the double team? He does. Kyle Gray with it beyond the three-point line. Gray will work his way back to the reset. Austin Clark wants the pick, and he does set it. Crawford now against Davis. Crawford crosses up, goes to his left, up and under. He does get fouled. That'll go against Salgado.
That was a beautiful crossover move. He actually hit him with a double move. He went through the legs and then behind the back. Now, to hit someone with a double move takes a lot, or takes a person with a ton of ball handling skills, because for you to react after your first move, you have to know where you're going to go, and you have to know, you have to anticipate where the defense is. He got the defense to bite, going too far over to their left, and he came right back, whipped it back, and tried to get a shot, but ended up getting fouled, as that first free throw will go in.
Miles Crawford, the 6'2" sophomore, 170, out of Geyer, 55-48. Citrus trying to hold on to their lead with just 11:08 remaining here in the second half. Davis up to McCoy. It goes off the shoulder of Gray and out of bounds. 11:03 here left in the second half. 3 seconds off the shot clock, so it's at 27. 20 minutes in each half. We're here in the second. At 7 p.m., it'll be Fullerton College versus Mount San Jacinto here on SportsNetUSA.net. 34th annual Fullerton College Classic, all brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. To the left side will go Darius Lee. Now for McCoy. McCoy with the spin move off glass.
This kid's super athletic, man. He's super athletic.
McCoy couldn't finish on the play, so it's 56-48. 17 fouls now being charged to Citrus, and they're almost in that double bonus area.
And do you know how hard it is? I mean, do you know how hard it is to readjust your shot over people that are just as tall or as long as you are and still be in the air and get it off? It's extremely hard.
McCoy, first of 2, straight and true. As McCoy gets to the line 7 times per game, only 44% from the line, and that's something that would drive our own Mark Pavlovich just batty. If you only shoot 44% from the free throw line, he misses the second, so he's 50% on the night. Miles Crawford out to Amon, now for Gray. Gray to Crawford. Crawford with speed into the middle, but just a little bit too little on that attempt at the basket. He gets bailed out at the last second by that foul call.
Talk about a bailout. And the Knights are looking around like, are you serious? You let him get fouled on that? He was going to come up short on that layup anyway. He attacked so hard and got to the rim and had a super weak finish.
Crawford misses the first one, 56-49.
And Wonder Smith will come in the game, and Isaac Davis ends up coming out for the San Diego City Knights.
Ball don't lie, as both of them end up going away.
Can't argue there.
No free throw makes on that one. This is Wonder. He'll take a look off to his left. Wonder Smith.
Oh, that's a nice move.
Salgado doing a nice job of going with the pump fake. Gets his guy in the air in Amon, and Amon goes flying over top.
The pump fake in the key is a very beautiful move, but it can also be a very deadly move, especially if you get the defense to bite as hard as they did. Because when you get the defense jumping in the air, they can either hit you or land on you, and we almost saw that happen right now.
As Citrus not really sure, Coach Lauer not sure who that foul goes against. And Clark is taking a look. Clark actually was on the junior Australian national team coming out of high school.
And they get that foul all sorted out. Head coach for Citrus College, Brett Lauer, is making sure, I need to make sure who got that foul, because I need to manage my substitutions right now, because this is crucial time. It's 56-49. As that first free throw is good, now it's a 6-point ball game with 10:18 left in the second half.
Salgado from beyond the three-point line, 47% at the free throw line, only 51%. NEC makes the second of 2. 56-51. And with it is Miles Crawford. 10:14 left in the second half. It's now just a 5-point lead for Citrus. Miles Crawford out to Gray, to Clark for 3. back rimmed out, and another rebound for Gray. Gray over to Jeremy Smith, nearly gets it taken away by McCoy. Over to Clark, second of two, and he doesn't get it. Falls to the floor after that one. Away is Darius Lee, the sophomore. Salgado will be charged with the offensive foul, as he does get the charge on this one, 9:48.
Nice job by Clark standing in there and taking one for the team, so to speak. And now Esposito is going to be coming in for the San Diego City Knights.
On the floor for Citrus, you have Gray with Smith, Ziska, along with Amon, in addition to Clark. Esposito with McCoy, in addition to Wonder Smith and Darius Lee. They're all joined by Robert Taylor.
Now, it's only a 5-point game. The Knights are definitely still within striking distance with just a little under 10 minutes to play in the second half.
And they have their
let's see if they can strike.
They have their entire starting lineup back onto the floor.
And we already know that McCoy and Wonder Smith mean business.
Jeremy Smith gets double teamed, just able to work away from it. Both sides with their starting lineups back into this one. This is Ziska. He'll kick it out to Gray. Now Clark, corner three. It's good.
Corner three.
59-51. Back to 8 points. How quickly things can change. 9:25 left. San Diego City was happy with their position moments ago as they had brought it back to within 4. Jeremy Smith nearly with the takeaway. Here's Amon. He does get fouled. Loose ball foul. That goes against Darius Lee.
And Lee is extremely frustrated. He says, man, I ended up losing it and I fouled this guy in transition. God, coach is going to kill me right now.
Mitch Charlins over to our right, not happy as it stands, and understandably so, 59-51. He's got the #1 team in the nation, and they're not necessarily up against the ropes, but it's 9:15 left, and they have not shown so far the ability to get back into it as Darius Lee goes out.
And Isaac Davis ends up going in for the Knights.
First time that, or make it the first time that Amon has got to the free throw line tonight. 59-51, an 8-point lead, 9:14. Davis off the check as it goes over to McCoy. McCoy in a breakaway to the rim. The floater just gets that roll to go home.
Talk about a friendly bounce. Did he like pray to the basketball lords?
Jeremy Smith over to Amon. Amon to Ziska. Ziska with it, 6'1" sophomore out of Redlands. Works his way to the elbow, step back jumper. Austin Clark, no over the back foul called as Clark sends it over to the side for Ziska's second try. Doesn't work. Wonder Smith is going to get called for a jump ball. Interesting call from the official as Wonder Smith had possession of the ball and walked.
I thought that would have been a foul. They called a jump ball. I don't think it was held long enough to be called a jump ball.
It looked like Wonder Smith had possession, then took the 2 steps, and then a hand got in there, so it should have been called a travel. And we'll see how the calls go the rest of the way. Missed by Esposito as that one goes in.
Second chance buckets have been big for the Citrus Owls in this entire contest, but the second half more so than others.
It's now back down to 4. San Diego City taking a look as Jeremy Smith backs it up. His coach tells him to slow things down, and he's still beyond the 3-point line with 12 on the shot clock.
They keep running Clark with that screen.
Clark works his way underneath, and a double bump at the end by Esposito.
And we talked about it at half, and I've mentioned it multiple times in this half. You need to get the ball out of Smith's hands. Jeremy Smith makes too many things happen. When he's got the ball, he ends up getting it to Clark, and Clark gets a good 3. Or he gets a good shot or a layup. Or he finds someone else cutting. Or he ends up getting a second chance. It all involves Jeremy Smith. And you need to keep him away from the ball in general.
Second free throw, or make it the first free throw for Smith. That goes in. 6 foot out of Great Oaks High School. Played 2 varsity seasons for the Wolfpack, was a first-team All-Southwest League selection and a member of the Southwest League Championship team.
And now it's a 6-point ball game as that second free throw is good.
Amon working one-on-one with Davis. Davis goes behind his back, looking for an opportunity, gets told by Mitch Charlins to take him. Steps back for an elbow jumper. Nice look from Davis. Gray going the other way with McCoy behind him. Ziska has to take it. And Gray, the 6'4" sophomore, now watches as Robert Taylor is in front. Gray over to his right, nearly gets a travel violation. Amon gets fouled by Davis, and he never had control of the basketball.
Absolutely, he never had control of the basketball, and he flailed his way going up like a Magikarp and lost the ball out of bounds, but the refs gave him some love on that, and now he's going to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. I couldn't even believe that they called the foul. I didn't think he even had the ball.
It's back down to 4. Citrus 61, San Diego City 57. 7:35 remaining. As the first one is in, it's up to 5 now.
Substitution on the floor. Salgado is going to come in for Esposito now on the low block.
Amon looking for his second free throw. Goes off front rim, back rim, and out. Salgado with a strong elbows out rebound, and it's 7:30 left to go in the second half. Davis one-on-one against Amon, and he will be fouled. It goes against Gray on the reach-in.
You know, he's a really quick player, and when you go up against someone who's bigger than you and not as fast, it's easier to draw a foul, especially when you're driving as quick as he does. He crossed over and just, you know, took off like he was Quicksilver straight to the rack, ended up drawing the body, and now he's going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Trayvon Watts-Hale is in. Out goes Ziska. 62-57, 5 points. That's the difference between Citrus and San Diego City. 7:26 left. Left-handed free throw goes off back rim and out. So the one-on-one, or the 1-and-1, goes awry. With 7:20 left, Jeremy Smith works it up slowly across midcourt.
Get it out of his hands.
Smith now to his right. He'll kick it out. Watts-Hale for 3, wide open. And it's just too far and long. Gray takes the offensive glass and puts it back home.
Second chance buckets, Ryan. Second chance buckets.
Under 7 to go. This is Wonder Smith, the former walk-on at UCLA. Goes behind his back, works against Amon and scoops to the lane. Off glass and in once more.
And you saw Trayvon try to take a charge there, but Wonder Smith just navigated around the defender and ended up getting a nice finish.
Gray. Now against Smith once more, and he gets fouled by Smith. 6:34 left here in the second half, 64-59. 34th annual Fullerton College Classic here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn with Avery Jordan, and a timeout is taken by Citrus. 6:34 left, 64-59. Citrus on top by 5. This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net. And speaking of SportsNetUSA.net, this game and every broadcast here on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Everyone loves to have great customer support from every aspect, and Miller Toyota of Anaheim can give it to you. The parts and service department is open 7 days a week for your convenience, so go ahead and visit them in person at the corner of the 91 and Euclid. And for those who are computer savvy, they can go to MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Once again, that is MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and most of all education. Once again, that is Miller Toyota of Anaheim. 6:34 remaining, 64-59. Avery, when you're looking at San Diego City College, we were talking about the swagger that they had in that first matchup. That's all of a sudden gone here in the second half, and they're scrambling to get back into it.
It's gone and or wavering right now because they don't look as confident, especially because the Owls just keep making crucial buckets. And when you see the other team continue to make buckets, no matter, like, despite your effort, it kind of weighs on you, and you feel that, especially in the closing minutes. It's 6.5 minutes left in this game. That's almost crunch time. We're basically in it right now.
To the line is Gray. And so far on the season is 73% from the charity stripe. That one's good. 65-59, so it's back up to 6. As it stands, Citrus in the double bonus. San Diego City just the single bonus, 6:34 left. Second one, it goes home as well for Gray. Back to 7. No losses so far on the year, 4-0 San Diego City. Wonder Smith inside, scoops. Now Darius Lee off the window, can't quite get it there as he gets fouled by Jesse Elrod. 6:28. 10 team fouls charged to Citrus in this second half. And the same goes for San Diego City. Now both squads in the double bonus.
First free throw is no good by the Knights, and they definitely need to capitalize on every chance that they get because, like we mentioned just about 20 seconds ago, this is pretty much crunch time. And you need your best performers to perform right now, and you need to have your defense step up. You need to keep Citrus off the glass and away from the bucket.
Gray over to Smith. Full court pressure for San Diego City. Robert Taylor calls things out. They just get it across half court before the 8-second mark. 6:16 left. Jeremy Smith now just inside the elbow, gets that roll to fall home. Up ahead it goes to McCoy on the break. Elrod against him.
Jeremy Smith, man, is just attacking the rack and doing what he wants. And we've mentioned it 1, 2, 7, 20 times. Get the ball out of this guy's hands. He makes the defense fall. He makes good moves. He finds the open man, and he can get buckets when he needs to get buckets. This guy is the key to stopping the Citrus Owls.
And we saw it at the end of the first half, and they were doing this great job of double teaming him and trapping him, and it forced Citrus to go out of their offensive rhythm, and they haven't been able to re-execute that in the second half.
And now Robert McCoy, like you mentioned earlier, I think it was in the first half, you said he was like 44%, 40-something% from the line. This isn't doing them any favors now that they're down 7.
He is now 3 for 6, so 50% today. 68-61, Amon over to his left.
Smith is avoiding that trap that you just talked about on the sideline by getting the ball up early.
Smith to Watts-Hale, back to Smith, thinks about that deep three, and it gets deflected away over to Taylor. Taylor with Darius Lee, scoops, Euro step, but it just can't crawl up and over. Gray is going to get fouled, and the loose ball foul goes against Darius Lee on the floor.
That was almost a really, really, really athletic finish right there. Nice aggressive take, but I'd rather have you take some smarter shots or end up getting fouled and go to the line if I was the head coach of San Diego City right now to see if we can get some easy buckets while the clock is stopped.
Gray with Elrod, Watts-Hale, in addition to Amon and Wright, or make it Smith. Those are the 5 on the floor for Citrus.
And now Esposito and Salgado are coming into the game for Davis and Lee.
5 on the floor for San Diego City. It's McCoy with Esposito, Smith with Taylor, in addition to Salgado. 5.5 remaining here in the second. 69-61, make it 70-61 as the second free throw falls for Kyle Gray as well.
Can San Diego City bounce back? #1 team in the state. Definitely feeling the pressure. Their backs are up against the wall right now.
Wonder Smith working against this man defense for Citrus, right to the rim, but an offensive board is taken by Darius Lee. He takes the shot, follows his own shot, and gets the rebound. McCoy stops for a jumper, but can't get that one to fall. He'll get it back, and Elrod turns it over. McCoy with the 2.
McCoy's been quiet for quite some time.
Energized the San Diego City bench with 3 dunks in the first 7 minutes. 70-63. Watts-Hale off the pick from Elrod. Sends it near corner to Amon. Elrod looks at the 3. Jeremy Smith with 8 on the shot clock. Crosses back in, the teardrop once more. That's the 3rd time that it has fallen for him, and it continues to work. Foul the other way.
Boy, Jeremy Smith is super nice. That was a really nice crossover move that he pulled on the held defense, froze the D, and said, you know what, I'm just going to go right by you. You thought I was going that way, but I'm going to get straight to the rack and put up this nice root beer floater.
Nearly a takeaway by Gray. Esposito to Smith. Smith up, under, can't get enough spin on that one. Offensive board taken by Smith. Here's Esposito into the lane, working on Elrod, and he gets tapped on the right elbow. So he'll go to the line for 2. 72-63, back to 9 with 4 minutes left to go here in the second half.
Now you can feel kind of the energy and momentum of San Diego City. They are forcing it now, or it feels like they're a little rushed. They're trying to make something work. They're trying to get it to work right now, and Citrus has just been all over them. The defense has been stellar. And is there a timeout on the floor?
Well, 4:01 left to go. 72-63 is our score. Esposito goes to the free throw line. So you have Smith along with Watts, Hale, Gray, Amon, and Clark for Citrus. It's McCoy with Esposito, joined by Taylor, Smith, that's Wonder Smith, and Luis Salgado.
Now Darius Lee getting set to come in for the shooter, so he's going to have to wait for the second shot to go.
Esposito gets set, releases, and it's going to go in. So the second free throw is good. 72-65.
And he'll come in for Esposito.
Watts Hale gets it in easily from Gray. They're looking back for Jeremy Smith. 18.3 points per game, and they break the press. Over to Gray. Gray looking for a teammate. Here's Jeremy Smith out to the corner for Amon 3. And that's just short. Amon won't touch it and lets it go out of bounds. A nice play by Amon.
That was, a really good idea by Amon to pull his hands back. He could have grabbed it or tried to grab it and get the offense set, but he's like, you know what, let's just have this go out of bounds and let Jeremy slow things down and get the offense set, because Jeremy makes great decisions.
Jeremy Smith, 6-foot sophomore. Retakes control of the ball. Wants a reset with 15 on the shot clock. Skip pass out to Amon. Amon takes it in front of McCoy. Gets the jump shot to land and is fouled. Amon going to the line. And Amon's dad, Ken Amon, played at Stanford. He was a coach at Concordia in Irvine, has an NAIA national championship. And of course, Brett Lauer, head coach of Citrus, was on that Concordia staff. In fact, in the 5 years that he was there, he had 1 NAIA national championship and 3 NAIA tournament appearances as well.
And Ethan Esposito is going to come in on that last substitution. And as you mentioned, Brett Lauer, this is just like a small world or full circle. I don't even know what it is. Just coincidence? I think not. It's a lot of basketball families going on right here.
McCoy takes it over, 74-65. McCoy there once more. It just has enough energy to get up and over that front rim and down. Timeout is taken by Coach Mitch Jarlins of San Diego City. 3:09 left to go in the second half, 74-67. Citrus remains with the lead over San Diego City.
And Ryan?
This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net.
And Ryan, these two teams, number 19 Citrus in the state, number 19, number 1 in the state, San Diego City. This is a big matchup right now. If you didn't know, you better ask somebody, because this has a lot of implications. We talked to the athletic director, Scott Giles, here yesterday, and he let us know about PowerPoints. If you Google PowerPoints, you're probably going to come up with something from Microsoft, but we'll tell you what they are. PowerPoints really matter when it comes to positioning, and the more PowerPoints you get towards the end of the season, the better your ranking will be and the better your spot will be when it comes to postseason playoff time. So getting as many wins as you can against quality opponents, beating the number one team in the state, it's going to get you some good power points.
And we talked to Coach Mitch Starlins before the game of San Diego City, and we said, what brings you back to this Fullerton College Classic? And he said, the reason why we come back is because there's so many good teams here. You see teams like he mentioned Citrus. He said Fullerton College, who played in the state championship game. He even said his team at the number one ranking overall. You look at Mount San Jacinto, they made the playoffs. Citrus, third round of the playoffs last year. Everyone who is prominent in the state in Southern California comes to this Fullerton College Classic, and that's what is bringing teams back.
And we actually had an interview with the head coach, Brett Lauer, on the Coaches Show. You can check that out on YouTube if you search OVN, the Orange Voice News, and you will see the Coaches Show. We got him, and we've got that interview with Scott Giles discussing this tournament and how the PowerPoints work and just how difficult it is to put a tournament like this together.
Foul as Esposito goes to the low block. Attempt doesn't go down, but he will still get 2 free throw opportunities with 3:05 left to go in the second half. 74-67. It's still a 7-point lead for the Citrus Owls.
Esposito going to the line, shoots 66.7% on the season, and he definitely improved it with that one.
Citrus 2 years ago, they lose in the third round of the playoffs. Last year, they lose in the third round of the playoffs. The Sweet 16, they're looking to change that this year. Up and in, 2 straight for Esposito, and Watts Hale takes it. Watts Hale to Jeremy Smith. Zone full court pressure here for Citrus, or make it San Diego City. Jeremy Smith stops right next to the Hornet logo here at the Hornet's Nest from the campus of Fullerton College. 34th Annual Fullerton College Classic. Winner of this game takes on the winner of Fullerton versus Mount San Jacinto later on. 3-point attempt blocked by Taylor. Taylor takes it himself and goes up top and gets that one off the bounce and home. 74-71. 3 points is the lowest it has been since 2 minutes into this game. Watts Hale along the sideline gets fouled by McCoy, who edges him away.
San Diego City, the bench right now is extra upset that they called that foul, but he didn't beat him to the sideline. In order to not get that foul call on you, you have to beat him there and get your foot on the sideline and establish your position. That didn't happen as he was still moving, which is why they called that force out in the blocking call.
2:18 remaining. Quentin Bailey is going to check in momentarily for Citrus. Watts Hale with the first free throw. That does end up hitting back rim, but stays home. Watts Hale, he is 100% on the season from the free throw line. Only had 1 free throw prior to this game. He now has, or is now 2 of 2 in this matchup.
Now Mitch Charlin's being extremely vocal now. In his 14th season coaching for the Knights, PCAC Coach of the Year 6 times and CCCAA Coach of the Year once in 2009.
McCoy to his right, pushes off against Gray, but Gray gets the foul. And a chance for a 3-point play by McCoy as he muscled his way underneath the basket and shoved away Quentin Bailey.
And McCoy was big for them in the first half. Second half, I mean, up until, what, about 3 or so minutes ago, he's been quiet, and now all of a sudden he's re-emerging as the guy that you can go to get a bucket, and they definitely need that right now because they're only down 3. They've only got 2 minutes left, just over 2 minutes left. They need to make something happen here. They need to make a strong push.
In the first half, he had 12 points on 5 of 10 shooting from the floor. Was 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. Had 2 offensive rebounds, 5 rebounds altogether, a steal and a block. .209 left here in the second half. 76-74, now just a 2-point lead for Citrus. Jeremy Smith trying to hang on here with his squad. The Owls looking to get it across half court. Watts Hale over to Gray. Amon open in the corner. Asks for the ball, won't get it. 16 seconds left. Wonder Smith, 2-3 extended defense for the Knights. Luis Salgado calling things out on this right side. It's taken away, and Smith gets bailed out by a call as Smith was driving to the elbow.
That is incredible. That was an incredible bailout. It could have been orchestrated by the government. It was such a good bailout.
2-point lead. 1:43 left to go here in the second half. Jeremy Smith will go to the line for 2. Right foot forward, basketball through the hoop. 77-74. Austin Clark is out.
There's a lot of salt over here on the San Diego City bench because they know that that was a for sure bailout call.
Coach Mitch Charlins and his staff being very vocal, along with Brett Lauer on the other side for Citrus. Jeremy Smith, nothing but net on the second free throw and brings it back up to 4. Only 1:35 left to go here in the second half. To the lane and to the rim goes Robert Taylor.
And Smith just got taken to school on the big bus right now, the big yellow bus, straight to school, as he's going to get foul, or he's going to get the foul call and send Taylor to the line.
Robert Taylor, 6'3", 180 sophomore out of Moreno Valley, but can't make the free throw. Wonder Smith sends it off the back of the backboard. Naturally out of bounds it goes, 78-76. 1:34 left. Looking to break pressures, Jeremy Smith. He's got McCoy off to his right, nearly taken away, but he regains possession. In between his legs, dribble, content to slow things down. Amon back out to Smith. Retakes it at midcourt. Gets a pick, Smith off the glass, but another low contact foul. And by low contact, I don't mean there was no contact, but it was towards the lower body where the contact was made.
You're right, it was a good foul call by the referee for the lower body contact, but Jeremy Smith is he just knows what is going to get him to the line. So the way that he attacked that last play, he saw the defense out of position, drew the contact, and ended up getting the ref's favor. He's been to the line how many times tonight? Probably a million if we check the score sheet.
And when you take a look at it in that first half, Jeremy Smith got to the line 8 times. So you add in the 6 times that he has been to the line here in this second half. It's now 14 times he's been to the charity stripe.
It was close to a million.
Timeout is taken on the floor. 1:12 left to go. 80-76 is our score. A 4-point lead for Citrus over the #1 team in California, the San Diego City Knights. This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn joined by Avery Jordan. Stay tuned because at 7 p.m. it will be Fullerton College versus Mount San Jacinto right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Coming up tomorrow, a lot of community college football highlighted by LA Valley College. They will be in play tomorrow night. In addition to Fullerton College and Golden West tomorrow, Rashawn Haylock, Mark Pavlovich, Corey Nayland, everybody will be down there on the campus of Golden West College to call that game tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m.
Now, if you missed any of the basketball here this past week for the Fullerton College Classic, you should probably either tune in about 10 minutes or so, or tune in tomorrow as well, and you'll get some championship games tomorrow, as the winner of these 2 games will play for the Fullerton College Classic Championship.
.12 remaining, 80-76, 4-point lead. Luis Salgado brings it into McCoy. McCoy looking for Wonder Smith, is told to run. 1 minute left now, and he loses the ball. It goes over to Watt Hale. Watts Hale takes a timeout right away before McCoy is able to get to him. 1:01 left, timeout. 80-76 off the turnover by McCoy. This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net. So we remind you, 7 p.m. tonight, Fullerton College versus Mount San Jacinto. And tomorrow, Golden West and LA Valley, Fullerton College, everyone is in play. Fullerton College versus Golden West with a chance to win the conference championship outright with the win tomorrow afternoon. They would go 10-0 and win the conference championship. Golden West has a chance to play spoiler on the other hand. They're 4-5. And they could get to 500 with a win over number 1 in the nation, Fullerton College. And LA Valley, of course, not having quite the season they had last year when they went undefeated, but this year still trying to stay alive in their conference. 1:01 left, 80-76, a 4-point lead for Citrus over San Diego City.
Now, San Diego City had a terrific season last year, only losing 5 games. They were 31-5, 10-0 in conference. They could replicate that success this year as they haven't lost any games. If they lose this game, it will be their first on the season. They dominated their tournament, and now they're here to try to win the Fullerton College Classic.
And one thing that might disappoint fans just a little bit is if they don't end up moving on in this game and win this matchup, then they wouldn't be able to play Fullerton in the winner's bracket.
Which is what I want to see.
But if they lose this one and Fullerton loses their matchup, they can still go to battle in the 3rd place game here at Fullerton College, the Fullerton College Classic. Jeremy Wright back on the floor. Gets that one poked away from him, and it stays with Citrus. Amon with Smith. Out there with Clark, Gray, and Watts Hale.
Now, I think they have McCoy guarding. No, they did have McCoy guarding Smith, and that's a pretty good matchup because his length may seem to bother Smith, but I don't know if he can match up in speed.
Nearly gets the ball taken away. Here's Amon for a 3, and it just rims in and out. There's Wonder Smith the other way, trying to work quickly. Tries to kick it back out. It goes to Salgado underneath to McCoy, who adjusts in mid-air and is still able to get that one home, making up for the turnover a little bit earlier. 28.9 left, another timeout taken by San Diego City. 2-point lead for Citrus over San Diego. 80-78 is our score. This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net.
Now, this is exactly what I wanted coming into this game. A close game, 80-78. You feel the pressure. There's only just under 30 seconds left to play. I want to see how composed both these teams are actually coming out of the timeout. You already know for Citrus that Jeremy Smith is going to be the one with the rock in his hands, and I want to see what San Diego City is going to do to get the ball out of it. They haven't got the ball out of his hands the entire game. He's been controlling the narrative the entire time, from tip-off to now. And they're definitely going to have to do something in order to take control, take the reins out of his hands, and take control as this game is creeping to an end.
As the crowd starts to fill in anticipation of seeing this home Fullerton College basketball team go up against Mount San Jacinto. Fullerton College basketball team off to our left. Into the right corner is Mount San Jacinto. 2-point game here between between San Diego City and Citrus. This is a rematch of the final.
That's right.
Of the Fullerton College Classic last year, the 33rd annual Fullerton College Classic, and Citrus won that game as well by a total of 2 points.
Yeah, Citrus gave them the business and ended up coming out by 2.
Jeremy Smith goes to Watts Hale, and Watts Hale runs into the referee.
He fell over the ref. The ref is a part of the game. The ref is a part of the game. So for him to fall over the referee, there's really nothing that you can say. There's a lot of frustration coming over from the Owls bench right now saying, hey, the ref got in the way. But in any level of the game, the ref is a part of the floor. If you throw an errant pass and it goes off the ref, oh, well, the ref is technically air.
Full timeout taken by San Diego City College, and now Avery, they have a chance to draw up a play and possibly take the lead with under 26 seconds remaining. 80-78, Citrus leads by 2. Shot clock is off.
Wow, that's huge. 25 seconds left. You're right. Shot clock is off. They could take the last shot. They could wear this out until the last couple seconds and take a 3, or you can score that 2, try to draw a foul, get to the line and get a 3-point play. There's a couple different options that you have right now. What would you do, Ryan?
Well, if I'm San Diego City, the guy who I want it in the hands of would be Wonder Smith. I say you set a screen from McCoy, actually allow McCoy to bring the ball in from the sideline, and then you set a screen for Wonder Smith, open him up, whether it be for a drive or a 3, whatever is open. Take the open shot whenever you have it, but you want the ball in the hands of your best player, and right now for San Diego City, that's Wonder Smith, as he's able to knock down shots from beyond the arc. He's sitting at 40% from beyond the arc, and from just the floor, he's sitting at 39%.
And I'm going to agree with you. You know, you said set a screen with Robert. You know, if he sets that screen and he gets to the rack, if you get a miss, you need Robert in there to get the rebounds. He's averaging 10 rebounds a game.
So they leave it to Robert Taylor. Taylor to Wonder Smith, working one-on-one against Jeremy. Wonder Smith off to his right. Still works over to his left. Step back jumper. It goes off of Esposito, out of bounds. It does indeed. And Citrus has the ball with 12.1 left. Amon will bring it in.
Oh, the call has changed.
Call is overturned after both officials end up conferring with one another. Our officials.
And Brett Lauer cannot believe it right now. His mouth is dragging to the floor like Wile E. Coyote.
80-78, back to Wonder Smith, beyond the three-point line. Tries to work inside, turns, gets it up off the window, it's in! Tie game, 80-80. No travel call as Watts Hale takes it the other way with 1 second left, off the side of the glass, and it goes down. No good for Watts Hale the other way. Wonder Smith ties it up at 80 apiece. We go to overtime.
Yes.
Here from the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic here on SportsNetUSA.net, and the tradition continues here on SportsNetUSA.net of our first game going to overtime. This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn alongside Avery Jordan. Don't forget that all games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. This holiday season is upon us, with Thanksgiving now just a few weeks away. And of course, if you're going to visit the family, you may as well do it in style with a new car from Miller Toyota of Anaheim. They have an enormous selection of vehicles that you can choose from. Whatever suits your interest and whatever you need, they have it down there at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and most of all education. You can check them out online at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Once again, that is MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com, or go in person to the corner of the 91 and Euclid and check them out. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and most of all education. So 5 minutes are put on the clock, and we go to overtime, Avery. 80-80 is our score, and Citrus is going to send out Smith with Bailey, Gray, Amon, and Watts Hale.
And I don't think I could have asked for any more, because this is exactly what I wanted. An overtime game that we get to broadcast. This is going to be amazing, Ryan.
As we continue with our coverage of the first game tonight here on SportsNetUSA.net. 5 minutes are on the board. You have McCoy with Taylor, Wonder Smith. You have Esposito out there, in addition to Luis Salgado.
And this matchup has not disappointed. The finals rematch of last year from the Fullerton College Classic.
Clock winds down. We're now at 4:50, just 10 seconds in. Wonder Smith working against Jeremy. Esposito now looking for Wonder. He'll take it himself, goes one-on-one against Bailey and draws a foul right away.
Now he's going to go to the line, and they have a chance to take the lead here. They haven't taken the lead in, I don't even know how long it's been. I think it's been since early in the first half.
I don't think they never had the lead.
No, they did when it was 2-0. Since it's been 2-0. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It's been 2-0.
That was the last time San Diego City College got the lead, and now they take it over. It's 81-80.
Because I believe McCoy got the first bucket. And now the pendulum is shifting over to San Diego.
Esposito makes them both 82-80. San Diego City College showing why they're one of the top teams in the state as they battle all the way back from down 9. Citrus College was up by 9 with just 4 minutes left in this matchup in regulation time. Jeremy Smith, an easy travel call. Smith takes a couple too many hops. Hops in, hops back out, takes the shot. Doesn't work in front of the official.
You know, regardless of that travel call, he still ended up getting a good look, and he got it to fall. And even when you get a turnover like that and you get the shot to go in, as a basketball player, you feel that momentum, and you're like, hey, look, I just made the shot on you. I still don't care. We're going to get the ball back, and I could make my next 4 shots because I still have my mojo going.
Wonder Smith calls things out. Wants Robert Taylor to go backdoor. Skip pass over to Esposito. Esposito looking to turn over to his right. What a play by Esposito on the finger roll.
Nice fillet there.
Jeremy Smith hops into the lane, has to pop it up for Gray. Down low to Quentin Bailey. Smith fakes a 3. He's got 13 on the shot clock. Now for Gray, wide open for 3, over to Amon, corner 3, and that's back rim down. Jeremy Smith retakes it over, wants to work it inside, elbow jumper, still can't get that one down. So the one in traffic he can't make there, Avery, but the one on the turnover, he ends up draining.
But he still ended up getting 2 shots in that possession, and what are you guys doing? You got to get the ball out of his hands, keep him from shooting it. Hound him as much as possible, and the help defense has to be there to make sure that they're doing their job.
Offensive foul as Amon is able to draw it on Luis Salgado. And Salgado just kind of gets the little hook around at the end there, holding Amon from behind. Gray will bring it in to Jeremy Smith. And 3:12 left to go. I was going to say the third quarter, but this is overtime. And a 4-point lead for San Diego City.
Salgado, I believe, has 5 fouls. I think that's what the ref came over to say just now. So he's got to get subbed out of the game.
3:12 left in overtime. And Salgado does end up going out. He is done.
And Darius Lee will end up coming in for the San Diego City Knights. And now we're getting right back to action as both teams are breaking the huddle. Ball's going to be taken out on the baseline by the Citrus Owls. That's Gray taking it out. Or, yes, that is Gray taking it out.
Watts Hale double teamed in the corner. Gray escapes with it. Right down to the corner. Austin Clark 3. He drains it. 84-83. Now a 1-point lead. Both these squads going back and forth. 2:50 left. Close to the halfway point here in overtime. This is just the first game that will be here on SportsNetUSA.net at the Fullerton College Classic tonight. This is McCoy, tries to spin in the air. A jump ball is going to be called as Gray locks him up.
And that's a very fortunate turnover there, or a jump ball situation, I should say, for the Citrus Owls, as they'll have a chance to get a bucket and take the lead back from the Knights. But that full court pressure.
Watts Hale, he'll take it up the floor. So now you start to see a difference here for Citrus. Jeremy Smith turns around, wants the jumper, looks for the contact, doesn't get it, as the official says, no, you can't step into that a little bit too much. And Wonder Smith walks it up. Gets direction from his coach, Mitch Charlins.
And Jeremy's there. He says, come on, man, let's go.
Wonder Smith off to his left, looking at a 3, wants to step back, surveys his options. This is McCoy. McCoy fakes the 3, wants to drive baseline, and does. Over to the side, it goes to Darius Lee, and a foul is called on Watts Hale on the entry pass. 83 for San Diego City. Or actually 83 for Citrus. They are down by 1. They had the lead almost the entire game up to this point. 9-point lead with just 3 minutes left, 3:50 left. And they end up seeing San Diego City just chip away at the block And they finally come back and take the lead here in overtime. And Darius Lee wills that one in. If you saw him, Avery, while he's at the free throw line, he sees the first bounce, kind of leans back, sees the second bounce, leans forward, and finally gets that one home.
Well, he kept his hand up there. You know, he looked like he was Geppetto trying to move Pinocchio around. He's like, please go in, and it ended up falling.
86 to 83, three-point lead. Jeremy Smith just across the half-court stripe. He'll walk right down Broadway and score. 140. 1-point lead for San Diego City. Wonder Smith to Amon underneath. He's got the baseline drive, but it goes off his foot and out of bounds.
A little bit too much dribbling. Right now, you don't need your point guard navigating through a bunch of traffic in the paint, doing a bunch of extra. There's a minute and a half left in the game. You're down, or you're up by one. Move the ball around and get a good shot. Work the clock.
Gray to Amon. Amon can shoot a three, so can Clark. You look at all the guys who can shoot on this Citrus team. You've got Smith, Amon, Gray, and Clark. All of them are averaging over 35% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and as a team, they shoot 28% from three. But like you said, literally everyone on this squad will take a three.
Jeremy Smith for deep three. And he gets stuck on the side of the rim and the backboard. Second straight day that this has happened in one of our games, Avery.
You know, that literally happens to me every time I go to 24-Hour Fitness, and I think that I can shoot up a great rainbow, and then it ends up getting stuck there. And I look around like, hey, it wasn't me, but everyone knows it was.
1:05 left in overtime. Possession arrow changes to Citrus as San Diego City controls. Away with it is Wonder Smith. He nearly gets that one poked away. Darius Lee, blocking foul, and an and one opportunity goes to San Diego City.
Whoa.
Both teams have to be separated afterwards as Darius Lee makes sure he steps over Austin Clark after that play.
Was Austin Clark in the restricted zone? Is that why they called that? Because it looked like he was set to me.
Slides the foot just a little bit, just a step. That's like when you're playing tag in the old playground and you just want to bring a little bit better positioning. That's exactly what it is. So you don't want to trip over anybody, so you sweep your leg just a little bit off to the side, making sure nobody sees.
Or it's like that one song that they always play at every school dance. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Crisscross. What's that song called? I forgot.
Cha-cha?
Cha-cha slide. That's what it is. There it is. Cha-cha slide. He slid to the right.
55.9 seconds left in overtime. 89 to 85. San Diego City now with a 4-point lead, and they have absolutely taken control now, Avery.
And now, like you said, 4-point lead for the San Diego City United. They're cha-chaing real smooth. 55 seconds left to go in this game. Let's see if they can close it out. They haven't had the lead since the opening minutes of this game. And now the Citrus Owls have their backs to the wall. The Knights are trying to put the Owls in the cage.
And you look at the Citrus Owls, they have Jeremy Smith, who has just not been on top of it here in this second half. In the first half, he's able to get to the line multiple times. Here in the second half, not so much. They throw him off his game. A little bit ago, you were talking about it. You have to get the ball out of the hands of Jeremy Smith because he starts things for Citrus. And in the last 2 minutes of the game, or of regulation, and here in the first 4 minutes of overtime, they have done that. They have forced Jeremy Smith into bad shots, 2 turnovers, and a near air ball.
Preach to him, Ryan. Preach to him. He's been in bad situations every time he's had the ball this entire overtime, and that's exactly what I thought that they were going to do in the second half, but they ended up putting it on him right now.
55.9, 89 to 85. They'll roll the ball up the court, and Jeremy Smith calls out a play. Smith over to his right, is beyond the three-point line, wants Gray, not comfortable taking a shot there. This is Amon. Back out to Gray. They have to work quickly. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Amon, corner three. It's a rainbow, but he can't follow through on it. And a foul goes against Watts, Hale, And that was a play earlier that we saw in the game that was actually called a jump ball.
Yeah, they called that. They actually called that jump ball really quick, didn't they? The last time they called it.
The last time, yeah. And Esposito goes to the line for the first of 2, and Avery, one shot here, basically ices it.
Let's see if they can knock it down, because they haven't had this kind of security since, well, ever in this entire game. And there it is.
He does indeed. Only shooting 67% from the free throw line on the year is Ethan Esposito, but he's able to score that one, and it's now 90-85. San Diego City in full control in overtime. Double bounce in and out, and wouldn't you know it, Wonder Smith takes the ball, and now the intentional fouls start to happen between Citrus and San Diego City, as it will go to Wonder Smith. As it will go to Wonder Smith.
And San Diego City's got their swagger back. You can look at the bench, and everyone's hyped now.
And something that we didn't see early in that second half, everybody was stone cold glaze. That they were just watching the game, had no emotion to their face, but now everybody's loose. They're dancing, they're talking to one another, they're hyped up, making sure that they get into this ball game. And it's 90-85. First free throw by Wonder Smith off the mark. Second one is up and through. 6-point lead. This is Gray. He's going to look for a three-point opportunity, and he gets it as he goes up. Fakes like he's going to take a three, but in this case, it's Robert Taylor who gets caught. And Taylor committing that cardinal sin once more. We saw that 3 different times on Wednesday,
2 days ago,
where a foul was given to a three-point shooter, and it changed the game.
And now Jeremy Smith is going to the line. He shoots just under 84% from the free throw line on the season. He's almost guaranteed to make all 3 of these.
And he makes the first. And you look at Mitch Charlins on the other side for San Diego City. Turns over to his bench and says, hey, we need to hear you talking a little bit more. So even though they're a little bit more vocal than they were earlier, as Jeremy Smith makes the second, he wants them to be a little bit more active.
Well, you mentioned that he wants them to talk more. We saw yesterday, we didn't broadcast that game, but we were here doing the coaches show. We saw yesterday, San Diego City, the Knights, they have an extremely talkative bench. And when they're able to get in your head, that really messes up your game in general. You know, your own team's communication, your swagger and confidence in yourself, especially if you hear the other teams talking to you when you're right next to their bench.
91-88, a three-point lead for the Knights of San Diego. 29.4 seconds left in overtime. This is the first game of our double coverage here on SportsNetUSA.net. Second game will start in just a little bit after this one. Fullerton College versus Mount San Jacinto. The winner of our game currently between San Diego City and Citrus will face the winner of Fullerton College and Mount San Jacinto. Earlier today, you had Canyons and Chapey who played one another, and it was Canyons who ends up with the win, so they will face San Diego Mesa, who beat Bakersfield at 1 p.m.
And this game, this is a little bit of revenge for San Diego City. As we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, if you're just tuning in, these two teams met in the Fullerton College championship game last year, and Citrus ended up coming out on top. San Diego City's trying to get that back. They are the #1 team in the state, coming off a championship season last season, and they do not want to be showed up by number 19 in the state, Citrus.
Under 30 seconds left here in overtime. 91-88, a three-point lead. Fullerton College Hornets over our left shoulders, trying to warm up as Robert Taylor doesn't get fouled. This is Taylor. Now Austin Clark finally gets a foul call.
Head coach Brett Lauer is livid right now. He wanted his team to foul in the backcourt, and they did, but the ref said that they didn't see it.
Foul against Austin Clark.
Head coach Brett Lauer wanted that foul on the sideline, and he was jumping out of his seat.
Robert Taylor in the first half made 2 of 2 free throws. On the season, he's 75%. Misses the first one. Only gets to the line about 3 times per game. Austin Clark now has 5 fouls, and he is going to have to check out.
Yeah, there was a little bit of foul confusion over here, and now they're getting it all sorted out. Now, Amon. No, it is Clark.
It is indeed Austin Clark, but Amon thought that he was the one who had to check out, and it is Austin Clark.
Now, Austin Clark.
He will be taken out of this one.
And Miles Crawford's coming into the game for Clark. Clark with 5 fouls. He was looking around like, do I have to come out? You guys can always just let me stay in. It's only 20 seconds.
This is a guy in Austin Clark who only averages a half of a personal foul per game. In the 4 games they have played, he has 2, but now has 5 in this one. Second one is off the mark as well. Citrus has a chance to tie it. Under 20 seconds left. Jeremy Smith now over to Miles Crawford. Deep 3. Front rim, back rim, and out. And he brings down part of the basket here at Fullerton College. No timeouts for either squad right now that they are taking. There's 3 left for Citrus, 1 left for San Diego City. Couple of subs are in. Miles is going, or make it Riley will enter. That's Joseph Riley, 5'9" point guard. He'll be in for San Diego City. And you also have Watts Hale who just enters. Jeremy Smith working against Wonder Smith, and he makes the foul.
Quick foul, nice quick foul, 12.5 left.
And you look at Coach Brett Lauer on that last 3-point shot by Crawford. He loved the attempt. Even though it didn't go through, he said he loved the attempt there by Miles Crawford because he had no one within 10 feet.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good look. I would be condoning it as well. You're down by 3. How much time was left when he took that? About 16 seconds?
16 seconds.
16 seconds, and, you know, it's a good look.
First one is through.
You just got to work to get that rebound. Make sure you got your guys in position. You can't be scared to take big shots when it comes down to it. I mean, they could have probably got a 2 and, you know, played some hard defense, but is that really what you want? You need to go for their throat.
Wonder Smith, the second one is off the mark as well. Gray has to work it up quickly along with Jeremy Smith. Smith in full stride, fakes a 3. He's going to give it to Gray for 3. That one goes just out. And they're going to say that it's goaltend. Well, the bench does for Citrus. Will it be there for the Knights? The officials conferring with one another. They're going to say just a foul. No goaltend whatsoever.
Whoa, that was
so close.
And you hear Coach Mitch Charlin. You hear Coach Mitch Charlin saying, absolutely no way was that a goaltend.
Gray makes the first one. And you saw the entire bench of Citrus as that attempt was in the air. They're looking at it, and then they hear the whistle, and then everyone starts to lean forward to try and will that one in, and it just sat on the edge of the cup and would not will itself over.
That would have been an incredibly insane shot to get to fall. Everyone's bouncing around like 2 or 3 times, pulled up in the face of the D, got to bounce around. If that would have went down, we would have seen a mythical unicorn 4-point play. We almost saw one yesterday.
And we did see one on Wednesday. As Jacob Lilly,
that's right,
of Canyons was able to get a 4-point play. Also got fouled on another 3-point shot. As all 3 go down, it's now 92-91. The question is, can both squads hit their free throws? Mainly San Diego City. 3.7 left in overtime. 92-91, a 1-point lead for the #1 team in California over Citrus. This is the 34th annual Fullerton College Classic on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn with Avery Jordan. Avery, a thriller so far in this first matchup here on SportsNetUSA.net. If you're San Diego City, what do you draw up here?
Well, if I'm San Diego City, I need the ball to go directly into Wonder Smith's hands. It's got to be Wondersmith. Send him. I want him going to the line. If I'm the Owls, I'm doing everything in my power to make sure McCoy gets it, because McCoy's not going to hit free throws. We've seen it through the whole game.
Either averaging 44% from the line.
Either he's, or is it 38? I'm just kidding. It's either he's one, he's going to go 1 for 2, or he's missing both of them.
.7 left, 92-91. Robert Taylor looks for the football pass. It goes over to McCoy. It's going to be dunked over and out of bounds. It goes the way of Citrus.
Oh, no way. I thought he fell out of bounds with it.
They're going to say McCoy had a touch on the ball and stepped out of bounds as he had contact with the basketball.
I thought it looked like, who was that on Citrus that grabbed that?
That was Watts Hale.
It looked like he fell out of bounds. He had complete possession and he fell out of bounds. And it's still going to be San Diego City ball?
It is indeed. So here's what the ruling is. Though Watts Hale did have the ball, he ends up just gaining a foot. The out-of-bounds marker is just off to his left. His foot lands in bounds. However, McCoy grabs the ball and bobbles it for a moment. Even though Watts Hale has the basketball, McCoy touches it and his foot touches the line as he grabs the basketball. So it goes off of McCoy. 1.3 seconds left to advance the ball up the court for Citrus.
Wow, that's crazy vision by the referees and by you to see that, because you got to have eyes like an iguana to watch both the floor and the ball so you can see it in different directions.
Chameleon.
Or a chameleon.
Mitch Charlins gets an explanation from the official. Citrus still trying to draw something up.
1.3, how are you going to get it up the court?
You have to give it to the hands of Jeremy Smith.
Is that enough time to get a shot? Yes, but a quality one? I highly doubt it.
Have to make sure that Jeremy Smith is open. And San Diego City calling for no fouls. They're going to advance it up over to Gray. Gray, can he get it off?
Ooh,
he
no,
cannot.
He can't.
It's not there, and it goes out and away. Final score in an absolute thriller in the first game here on SportsNetUSA.net. San Diego City survives the threat of Citrus College. 92-91 was our final between San Diego City and Citrus as we go to the second game of coverage here on SportsNetUSA.net. Avery, let's get out of here, and we'll give way to